All right, we're here with round two of week four of season 22. We lost yesterday's match, as you may already know. We're against Tadano today. Did not have a great time. I dropped one, and my efficiency wasn't good. And again, hindsight 2020. But I really should not have dropped anything because his Annihilus is on offense. Yeah, I mean, I rushed a couple of my attacks, which isn't meant to be an excuse, but sometimes real life gets in the way, and this applies to everyone. Not everyone plays at their peak ability all the time. Sometimes just shit happens. I mean, I still think I have a chance, but I think Tadana would need to drop two for me to win this because my efficiency is really bad, and you'll see why. Yeah, let's move on to the attacks themselves. Alright, here we are with stage 1. This is Starjammers without Lalandra because most likely Lalandra has been pulled to deal with potential Exalted X-Men runes. But otherwise, this is a fairly standard counter. I haven't put too much thought into how much cheaper can you get when Lalandra's missing here because there are certain things that you can do to Starjammers that you can't do with her there. But otherwise, I just brought Mummy here just to eat the Havoc ultimate because I think this is a 5 diamond... Oh, 4 diamond Havoc, but here to 21. I didn't want him one-shotting my old man Logan or anything, so he's here for efficiency's sake because I am not worried, basically. Without Lalandra here, they're missing a pretty big threat. So Havoc goes first, does that. I kind of mostly heal it back up right away. He gets a counter hit because he countered, so the counter counters. Then Silver Sable goes with her ultimate and clears the taunt here, and Old Man Logan is here to prevent the charges, otherwise he has a lot of resist, so you may not be able to do that. Blast Dart special on Howard. You're going to get retaliated for this, but it doesn't really matter. Sea Rocket's already dead. He's just very squishy, his stats are pretty low. Then I did the Thunderstrike special on this clump just to kill these two because they will 100% fall over. I just did the special because why not? It doesn't really change anything. I guess I could have used a basic, but this fight is so over it doesn't really matter. Like, Old Man Logan does this and kills him. No revives, so pretty easy counter. The fact that Starjammers still take, though, a speed bar and speed stop, I think still makes them valuable on defense. It's just there's no risk that, or maybe I shouldn't say that. There's less risk of misplaying into Starjammers if Lalandra's there because usually the only thing that can go wrong is if you let her live and she uses her ultimate and she kills a bunch of people. But without her here, that's never going to happen. There isn't really a big threat anymore. Moving on to stage 2, so New Mutants Executioner. So this is a pretty standard defense these days. There's a lot of answers to this, some which are cheap, and I think folks are finally figuring it out. But most of the time these days you see this getting daemoned. Otherwise, I did Daring Warriors and Storm here. Storm is here just to stop Executioner. And also this positioning is very favorable for me, and I'll explain why. But yeah, you send Executioner so he never gets to do anything. You also get to put slows out pretty early, and the slows from Storm actually mean that my entire team is going to go before theirs. Because she's 131, and I think... Yeah, Magic, Wolfsbane, and Warlock basically are slowed early enough where they lose their order, their turn order. So Cannonball goes, but he's silenced. He's not really going to do anything other than just raw damage. He also doesn't have offense up because Sunspot isn't here, but Magic is. So what I said by positioning favorable, your perfect scenario is if you can silence Magic and Wolfsbane. Because if you can silence Magic, she's not going to do a bunch of her annoying, like giving out evades, giving out death proofs. She does a bunch of... She gives out a bunch of buffs when health thresholds are hit. You know what? Let's just look at it. Ooh, why not? Magic. Go to her. So yeah, reduce duration, apply death proof into evades, death proof evades. Yeah, so all this stuff here will not happen when she's silenced. Or well, not just silence, but you also want to silence Wolfsbane so that if she gets to go, Wolfsbane, her special does a bunch of decays. Yeah, reduce the duration of all positive effects by 2. If she's silenced, she's not going to do that. She's still going to do a bunch of damage, but she won't put bleeds out. She won't decay your stuff. But Thrasher is the important thing here because he's going to put Trauma, which basically seals the deal. So he gets ability block for free because Thrasher ability blocks controllers. And these two are now Silence and Silence, Trauma, Disrupt, Speed down. So they're not, even if they get to take turns, they're not going to do too much. Now, Magic is still going to heal, but that's all she's going to do. As you can see there. And then I could have hit the trio here, but I figured let me just make sure I ability block Wolfsbane, which she resisted it, by the way. How the hell did that happen? She's not that big, is she? Oh, well, she's dead. I can't see it anymore. I'm surprised Warlock resisted there, so technically she could have still gone, but the ISO killed her, so whatever. It's a little bit weird. I hadn't noticed that before. But yeah, Warlock finally gets to go now after my entire team has gone, but it's just a basic, and that's because of the slow. Boop, then Magic does that, but it doesn't really do anything. I mean, you can see now, bam! 100 to 0'd the Warlock, so a 5 Diamond Eclipse is kind of insane, and so is a 5 Diamond Thrasher because he crit there for like 23 million, so yeah, this is technically a slightly expensive counter to this team. I won't tell you why, but it was what I wanted to use here, so I did. Okay, moving on to stage 3. So, don't do this attack, because I did some very risky things, and even though it worked, A, it could have gone south for me, and B, I absolutely did not need to use Breaker here, and should not have used Breaker here, and could have used them in the room that went wrong. So, let's look at this. There's a 5 Diamond Shaw on the other side, which is actually very spooky, because usually what happens is Professor X goes, does what he does, and then Shaw is at 126. He's going to beat the shit out of Phoenix and maybe kill her immediately from other incidental damage. And the minute she dies, Speed Bar is on the table, and that means Omega Red can come back. So, and also the whole concept of these comps is usually that you kind of slow play, focus down characters 1 or 2 at a time while leaving Phoenix for last. And what I did here is kind of the exact opposite, and it worked, but I wouldn't do this again, honestly, in a real fight. And I say real fight as if it isn't, but this was me being a little bit silly because I'd already dropped an attack, so I was kind of annoyed. But anyway, so did not win the coin flip, so Magneto went first. But my Gwen got the what is it called? Time warp. So anyway, Jeff goes, pulls everyone in on Omega Red. Does a lot of good things, a lot of good damage. Now, this is the problem with Breaker here. All of his attacks are multi-hit. So I'm debating. I either do. Hang on, let's look at it. I either do a basic, which will hit primary for 350 and everyone else for 320, and I can't not hit Phoenix. Or I can do this, which will do way more damage, but also ability block everyone. So my thought process here was, I don't think I can slow play. I should not have brought you here. I'm going to try to kill her, because if I can kill her before Professor X goes, I'm good. So we do this. It kind of obliterates everyone, including Phoenix. So of course he crits in this fight. So anyway, sorry, that's a nod to yesterday where he didn't crit. So she comes back. My Mega Red is in a bad spot, but because she died, both my Gwen and Professor X are going to go before her because they're 127. So at this point, basically, I'm safe because the right decision was to kill her quickly. And that is exactly what I did. So we use Professor X special, as we always do. This will kill. Boop. And then here's a time warp, which kind of just finishes the match because I have a 5 diamond Gwen. I got lucky with one of the orbs, and then you do a basic, and that is it. So, did it work? Yes. Do I recommend this? Absolutely not. I recommend this, but swap Breaker in for someone that has damage you can better control the target of. Okay, stage 4. It's time for shit show number 1. So, Daring Warriors Blue Marvel. I once again had a lot of the pieces that I used to counter this on defense. Well, I say a lot, at least some of them. So I was kind of forced into this, let's say. I hate doing Brimstone into Blue Marvel Daring Warriors in general. And I hate it even more now, especially because with the diamonds on Eclipse and Thrasher, I feel like unless Eclipse dies, she will just solo everyone anyway with, you know, more of the standard Brimstone comps. So I don't know that that works anymore. But this went even worse than I thought. And the irony is that I actually took my Daemon to G21 to bulletproof this, and it still didn't work. So yeah, so the concept was, let's bring Daemon here, let's get a double tap off Blue Marvel, because that's usually what we do, and then, you know, a Nihilist should be able to clean everyone up. However, Yo-Yo goes, you know, hits a bunch, gets some vulnerables, that's cool. But then Daemon goes, barely doesn't kill the Blue Marvel. He went into red for a split second and then healed up again. Luckily, an Nihilist killed him on his turn, but I'm in trouble. So, a Nihilist special, I got into Speedball because I don't think I can kill anyone but him, and he's kind of the lowest one. Unfortunately, it did not kill him, even with offense up, even as a striker. So, Eclipse hits. This is some pretty good damage, right? Like, that is a... I'm pretty sure she's 5 diamond, right? Yeah, she's a 5 diamond Raider. And my Nihilus got hit for 23-ish million. That's a lot of damage. So, and this is what I was worried about with this comp, in that if I'd gotten the double tap, at least Speedball would have died here, maybe more, but I never got the double tap, so basically a Nihilus has to kill everyone here. So luckily I still have the offense up, because the harder he hits, the more health I get back. Devourer goes, that's fine. Gives me a little bit of speed bar. I'm passive hitting everyone, but you know, again, there's a lot of incoming damage here. So I am extremely worried about my health here, because I feel like with slightly bad targeting, I could have lost my rod here. Is this guy a striker? Let's see. Striker, Speedball, Raider, Daredevil. Okay. I'd be more worried if he was a striker. But anyway, he hits everyone. See, he barely didn't remove Rod, and I did not heal up a lot from Speedball. So I got lucky with targeting here. Well, I say lucky. There's 5 targets. 4 of them are fine. 1 of them is bad. Or, well, 2, I guess, because adjacent would also be a problem, I suspect. But luckily, he did not hit here. He hit over here. I mean, Daemon's not going to do anything at this point. So, at this point, I assume I've lost. I do not expect this to win. However, I kept Rod, luckily, and I'm at my ultimate. So, I hope Speedball dies. I target onto Thrasher. Thrasher does die. And Speedball dies, and then Eclipse dies, and he gets to take another turn, but it's over. So I could have definitely lost this, and it's all because my Daemon did not double tap. That is why I never ever like doing Daemon into Daring Warriors Blue Marvel, because my Daemon is 4 diamonds, and you know, I was missing just a tiny bit of damage, and that was it. So yeah, not a good attack at all. Do not recommend, never want to do again. We'll try to find something else. I've already changed my defense to account for some stuff, because this is the 2nd day in a row where I'm like, man, I really wish I had Mephisto right now, and I didn't. So I'm pulling him off again. He's really good on offense for a lot of reasons. But yeah, Annihilus carried this barely, because this was also a huge team, but Terrible, terrible efficiency. Okay, so stage 5. I did this one yesterday. Slightly different variation. This is also a larger team than yesterday. This one doesn't have Shadow King, but it has Wolverine. If it was Shadow King again, I think it would have been even better. But I did the exact same team, except yesterday I brought in Thanos. Today I could afford Quasar, so I brought him instead. And you will see why. So this is kind of the usual, you know, prevent and expose so that Odin can do his thing. More special. It says, so here's a fun quirk. These attacks that have like hard-coded targeting, because Morph is going to go into the person with the highest focus, and actually maybe we can see it today. Captain Britain, yeah, see, he's got 637,000 focus because his passive gives him 1,000% focus when he's above 50% health, so he's always going to eat the Morph special. However, as you can see here in the replay, he's still targeting Lilandra, even though it's going to hit Captain Britain. And the reason why that's important is because Captain Britain eats shit, but the assist will go into Lilandra. So there's some weirdness with that, where even though they're hitting someone else, they're actually targeting someone, and you can't see that outside of the replay, but that might be why you see assists usually going into odd targets. Now Storm does her ultimate, does its thing, but it's fine. I guess he resisted? That's fun. So anyway, the reason why Quasar is here is so that he can do a special, because the special will call an assist for Odin, because Wolverine, and this is, I don't really like the terminology difference here, but it's definitely a thing. So Wolverine lowers passive assist chance. Passive assist chance is different from, what is it called? Assist now, for example. So Wolverine, let's say, will prevent assists from someone like Null, assuming he's not over 100%, but it doesn't stop Quasar, who calls an assist. What is it? Let's see. Yeah, he calls the ally with the highest damage to attack the primary target. So Wolverine does not stop that. So basically, I've got my assist in, which means I can special now. So I do some stupid shit here, honestly, because like I said in the intro, I was pretty distracted for this round, and the one target you don't want to hit into is Angel, and I will throw a lot of things into Angel for basically no reason. So Gladiator special, whatever. That's fine, you can't really do anything about that. Here, maybe I could have used the Lilandra special to hit into them, but I was also like, whatever, I still want to kill him. Now Wolverine will do a special, that will hurt quite a bit. Plus the assist, now I get my other Gladiator, Odin's doing his thing. Jubilee will do her ultimate, which is doing it onto someone that doesn't matter too much. So then we do this. Unfortunately, Angel did not die, so he'll heal a whole bunch up again, so that eats some efficiency. Lilandra's dead at this point. Meow. Odin is still doing his thing. Again, I don't really need to do the special here. I could just be hitting into this trio with other abilities just to whittle them down, but or same thing here. I'm like, why am I using the Quasar basic on Angel when I could just be using the Quasar ultimate? Like I said, kind of not paying 100% attention here, and this is the fight where it's the most obvious. But anyway, I'm not at risk of losing this. It's just I'm throwing away efficiency for no reason, because they have no way of removing the battlefield effect, and they're never going to kill Odin. So I'm just making this fight take longer for no reason. Meow. Actually, what did I make him? I made him a fortifier. Yeah, I think moving forward I'm going to make him a raider, because he's never at risk of dying, and it's just more damage. So like maybe the Angel would have died already the first time, because he was close. Yeah, Wolverine getting his ultimate, not a good time because he got 2 hits in. And yeah, I think here is where most of them die. Yeah, so oop, I mean, now I use the ultimate. Good job, me. And it's just Wolverine left, and I just use the ultimate, which actually doesn't kill him straight up. It was the ISO hit. So yeah, this is a really good counter against this team, but also don't don't play it silly like I did. You know, hit anyone that's not Angel, or honestly, what I did yesterday might be better with just bringing Thanos in to stun Angel, because me taking a bunch of turns ahead of them doesn't matter too much, because I'm relying on the swipes to kill them, so the longer it takes for them to swipe me back, the worse my efficiency might be, but the special also gives them, you know, offense up and it heals them, so I think I just misplayed this, basically. The Quasar version's pretty cool. But yeah, don't be silly like me, play it the proper way. And for the cleanup, oh, and that's the other note. I said, like, I used Silver Surfer Breaker in another room. He would have obliterated this room on his own. He would have controlled everything, done a shit ton of damage. He's really good. But I didn't have him because I kind of overkilled that other room where I said, you know, don't do this again. So I turtle up a lot with my defense. So when I make certain decisions that pull key pieces away from other rooms, it's very painful for me because I only have a select number of tools and I really can't afford to use them. And Sentry alone is not going to solo this room, as you can clearly see. And unfortunately I dropped this, which I was not expecting, but I was also rushing. So cleanup here. The logic here was, well, they still get a bunch of speed stat because Null is here. Well, I guess not a bunch, but there's still speed stat on the table. I figured, let me just quickly kill Null and Venom, and then finish the other two off. And Immortal Weapon stop the speed stat. So I do the special on Null here because the special does more damage. And I figured it'll kill some people. It didn't. So the mind control alone ruined my Songbird here. I do the special here. And then I guess because he cleared everything, including the slow, he still gets to go ahead of my Swordmaster, which means he's going to ultimate, and he kills my Songbird. He also didn't push anyone, or he didn't push my Iron Fist to heal everyone up, but yeah, my Swordmaster then does the ultimate and ends it. So just a lot of poor choices this round, unfortunately. I assume this is a loss, but we'll find out, so see you in a sec. Yeah, as expected, unfortunately we lost this round. I'm pretty sure I lost the minute I didn't get that double tap on Blue Marvel because that efficiency was terrible, so even if I'd one-shot everything else, it probably would have been a loss, so need to figure out what to do against Daring Warriors Blue Marvel now that those extra diamonds are making things a lot trickier, and some of the tools that were used to take that out in the past are reserved for elsewhere. So 0-2 this week, not a great week. Maybe we'll manage to get one more win tomorrow, but we'll find out. See you then.